Comrades, as a ground forces, you must know that you are the epicenter of our revolution. You are the vein of our own organization. Without you, there is no EFF. But without us, there will be EFF. Because EFF is not leadership. EFF is the ground forces of the EFF who make it what is supposed to be. Comrades, we must remain focused. We must be motivational people in our communities where there is hopelessness. We, the ground forces of the EFF, must inspire hope. We must make sure that every protest in a community has got EFF members, but be careful as a ground force. Have the capacity to distinguish between a genuine protest and factional protest of the ANC. Because sometimes when alle batho ba re a re sa batla councilora rena re a joina gane ke batho ba ANC ba lwana ba batla this one out a replace ke wo. So have the capacity to read in between the lines. If it's not a genuine community protest, don't be part of it. Comrades, know your communities by detail. Don't know them or where you come from as a ground force. You must know how many schools are in your ward. How many churches are in your ward? How many disabled people are in your ward? How many young people who are doing matric in your ward? So that you can go around asking for bursaries for those who have passed properly. Know them by name and say name. Know each and every house and what are the needs of that particular house. Not as a group, as a family. What does that family need? I might not have anything. I might not help them. But I must be in the know-how. Or one day, Hangargi Duzi Mutuari, or donated wheelchair. Hey, I must remember in my ward there is a person who needs a wheelchair. Because Utlotsa Maya, Ufitlekoai, after Bafileba to the wheelchair. O realize how the more una le moto abatlang wheelchair more. Ay man. And what's one negele ko abafaba to the wheelchair? That is not leadership. Comrades, you must be rooted amongst communities and love them. Don't go now to go and do work for elections and pretend you love communities. It doesn't work like that. That's why when you do door to door, they ask you about Neleleko guy, Lebo man. It doesn't mean they don't know your name. It doesn't mean they don't see you around. You are from there, they know you. They simply mean when the sewer spillage visited my house and I was struggling to take the rubbish out of my yard, where were you? You do that and help communities. You'll never have a problem. Fall in love genuinely with communities. There is an old woman in your ward. Anabana unali one. What stops you from going to check that old woman every morning, less than 5 minutes on your way to where you are going? Because that day you might arrive. This old woman, she couldn't do anything. And then you save her life by just passing to see the old woman if she's fine. As a ground force, do that with ease and without feeling like someone is punishing you by asking you to fall in love with communities. If you're not in love with communities, Forget about declaring this as you are here, as you are 1994 next year. Comrades, you must lead in community activities and endeavors. Take initiatives. A ground force. There can't be a problem here of a stock theft. An EFF branch has never organized a march to a police station. It doesn't matter how many are you. 30 of you, 40 of you, just stand up and say, Dingudia utsiwa mo wa marching and a suspect. The drugs, soccer tournament, netball tournament. It's a cultural day where you call different cultures. Sotho cultural group, Xhosa cultural group, but more on your branch that day. Who know I'm not? Because you love your community. Some of you think that community activities and the way of doing things in the community needs a lot of money. There is nothing. You don't need any money for anything. Renokopana, Radala Bolo, Hai Chaya, we go to our houses. Agarwa from here. We go and eat at home. But we're happy today there was a come together organized by the EFF. Some of you call yourself ground forces, but you can't do that. As simplest thing of bringing communities together. A fighter must be well read. A fighter must be knowledgeable. A fighter must have the ability to agitate communities and lead them from the front. As a ground force, that is your responsibility.